Good morning. It is Mary Runsell out in the field walking, recharging my brain. So I'm here this morning to talk to the coaches about recharging brains. So every day we charge our iPhone with wires, right? We're very intentional about it. We don't miss it. In my house, we fight over the wire. We say, who has the charger? We don't fight. We just can't ever find the chargers. So you have to hide some in my work bag. So we know they're a priority, right? So our phone chargers are a priority. So why aren't our brain chargers, right? So what is a brain charger? Well, there's a few things we can do to really charge up our brain. Okay, so the one is this, just to be out in nature. I'll give you a look. It's pretty, it's morning. I'm out in my field. It's lovely. I'm under power lines, so I'm getting charged. So why am I out in nature? Well, visually, it's incredibly appealing, right? It helps me be mindful, helps me just be here. And we know that with nature, we have a reciprocal relationship with nature, right? So I'm breathing out carbon dioxide. The plants need carbon dioxide. They're giving out oxygen. I need that. So it works for both of us, right? So think of it as service to get out in nature because, let me show you some pretty plants. You know, it really, it's beautiful, huh? So that's why we come out here. It really helps, and think of it, you're helping these beautiful plants by coming out here and sharing your carbon dioxide. And so many other things happen when we're out in nature that are positive for our brains. So one way to charge or recharge our brains is to get out in nature. Number two is just movement. So just a walk, a run, a stretch, a bike, anything to get out and move, because that helps our nerves to connect. And when we demand more of our nerves, they have to connect to each other, okay? So just like plants, how they have branches like this, our nerves are like this. And so, let me go down here. So, you know, if we have one nerve over here who needs to connect to this other nerve over here, you know, it'll cross over, it'll send some chemicals from one to the next. So those are, it helps the next nerve know to pass the message on. So in order for nerves to connect, there have to be a lot of branches, something called dendritic spines. So think of our nerves like this, a lot of branches, and connecting to another nerve, the way they do that is through chemicals. So the more you do that, the more spines there'll be, and the more the chemicals will know what to do, where to go. So the more you move, the more the nerves will connect more easily, and it'll kind of wake up the brain. So that's one way to kind of charge up the brain and getting, you can actually enhance the anatomy, you know, so you can enhance the nerve connections by doing that. I'm going to go this way because the sun's coming up and it's so pretty. Isn't that lovely? And I have the water behind me. So there's a little steam. It's pretty. Anyway, yeah, so nature gives us a lot, all these beautiful scenes. And when we move, it helps our brains get connected. And then the next thing we can do is be purposeful about our sleep. So our sleep is a 24-hour cycle. So when you wake up in the morning, a lot of us are running to the basement to Zoom, or a closet or a bathroom to get some private place to Zoom from. And so what you could do is just make sure you get some natural light in the morning. It is now the end of August or mid-August, and it's the sun is coming up a little bit later, which is kind of sad. So the end of summer. So we still, when we're outside and our brain sees this light, then we know that this is the beginning of our day cycle. So it'll know to get tired in 12, you know, to start winding down in 12 to 14 to 16 hours, depending on your sleep needs. And then you know you need to see how you're going to get your 7 to 8 hours of sleep in. And watch how late you eat, because a lot of sugar in the bloodstream kind of wake up your brain. And then also watch alcohol, because if you drink right before bed, it makes you fall asleep, but then it kind of stuns these brain cells. And then when the alcohol wears off, the brain cells wake up, and then you wake up at 2 or 3 in the morning. And so you think, what the heck is this about? So that's why. It's because the alcohol wore off and your brain hasn't really gone through a natural process to fall asleep. So ways to recharge the brain. Number 1, get out in nature. Number 2, move, get some motion in your day. And number 3, watch your sleep cycle. So set your brain awake in the morning, and watch what you're doing during the day. So how can you help your sleep otherwise? Movement helps. So some of these are like a 2-4 or 3-4, right? So I'm out in nature now, I'm moving, so I can check off these boxes, right? And it'll help my sleep because I'm moving. So that's kind of cool. So I could go for a walk in the morning and hit a few of those boxes. Then I know I'm recharging the brain. Now, back to the iPhone. So with the iPhone, you charge it every night. You make a priority of doing that. And you wouldn't say, hey, I just hope my phone charges. I wish it would, but not do it. You have to plug it in, right? So same thing with your brain, your gorgeous brain. So as coaches, as folks who are professionally trying to develop, we're trying to maximize our brain function, especially in these days of COVID. What can we do to stay strong, keep moving, and stay healthy? Well, that sure is one of them, is to think of ways to recharge the brain. And we have to do it intentionally, because we could hope in the morning that my phone was charged. If I never found that charger and actually plugged it in, probably won't be. So same thing with the brain. We can't just hope that it works for us or does a good job for us. We need to actually be intentional about it, okay? So just imagine you have one of those days where everything just goes right and it's just beautiful, and you get your work done and enjoy your family or friends after work, and you enjoy nature, you sleep well. Imagine that. You feel good because you exercised a bit. Imagine those kind of days. You think, what did I do? Why is this day so smooth? You actually were intentional about brain charging. So think about it. You plug in your phone every night for some reason, right? Because you want it to work. So think about what you're doing for your brain. Okay? So have a great day. Follow me on YouTube, Dr. Mary Rensel, and if you would, because if I get to 100, I get my name on it, okay? I'm just trying to get there. I would so appreciate it. All right, well, have a super duper day, and get out there and charge your brain. Okay, stay well.